Hi students, so we are continuing with this revision checklist on content, and we're going to cover the other paragraphs starting with the factual overview paragraph. So if you remember from the first video where we talked about the introduction paragraph, our thesis statement is saying, for my example on screen addiction, so that's my topic. And my controlling idea is that young adults can become more intentional about reducing their screen time if they are aware of the dangers of excessive screen time. And I had 3 reasons, or 3 dangers: 1, 2, and 3. So the first danger was the psychological effects. So social effects could affect your social life, even though there's social media. Right, number 2 was on your work performance or school performance, school or work, even though there are productivity tools, but again, it depends on what you're using, and this essay would point that out. And the third one would be the physical. So it could be things like sleep and health, you know. Now, you could actually write one of these and think about 3 physical effects, or 3 performance effects, or even 3 psychological effects. So depending on how much research you've done, you can actually be more general, whereas you can find 1 psychological effect, 1 performance effect, and 1 physical effect. Or you could be so specific, much more specific, in that you can mention 3 physical effects. So for example, you can say, oh, it could have effect on your sleep, it could have effect on your weight, body weight, or it could have effect on your health in general. So you could have 3 specific effects of a type. But regardless, you have your controlling idea, and what we're doing to do next is to continue the essay by helping the reader understand how you're going to support your argument. And we're going to use the factual overview paragraph to do this. Now, there are 2 reasons why we have this in our essay. 1 is for me as your instructor, and for the reader to know that you've done your research, so that the reader, and including me, can see that you understand the topic enough to really make your thesis statement and defend it with your body paragraphs down here. And 2, you are giving the readers the signal of saying, okay, these are the definitions and terms that you're going to use in the rest of your essay, whether you are talking about the counter arguments or whether you are talking about your argument, your 3 points. So you would signal them with definitions, and terms, and concepts. Whereas your knowledge, you could have things about specific facts. You can talk about certain debates that they're having about the issue. Well, but debate for this topic about screen addiction is, well, we use screens more often than ever now, and we have access to the internet basically wherever we go, and we've come to depend on it. So should we just accept this as the way as the way things are, or should we change it? Another thing that you could do for your knowledge is the issues that they're debating about. So the issue could be a health issue, could be a social issue, could be a work performance issue, and that's why you're using these for your thesis statement here. So either way, your factual overview paragraph would provide information, and it would provide information about the knowledge that you need to talk about your argument clearly, and it would also help prepare the reader to understand your arguments better. So not only are you showing your understanding of the topic, you are also going to help the reader understand. And this is true for things that are terms, definitions of concepts in a specific field. So let's say I'm writing about psychology, that's my background, but I want someone from, let's say, the arts or biology or, let's say, math to understand it. So I would use things that would help readers understand in more everyday English. And that's the factual overview section. Okay, so moving on. The rest you would see, but before we would go into making your argument, there's one more paragraph that I'm looking to have you guys write in this course, and that's to deal with the counter arguments. What this means is, well, if I'm saying in my thesis that young adults can stop or use the screen less, if they were more aware of the dangers of screen addiction, counter arguments might be, oh, well, even if they knew the dangers, even if we tell them, even if there's already research on that, and it's around social media of all things, which is kind of ironic, they still would keep on using their screen. It's just maybe it's too strong. So how you would find counter arguments about the topic is really up to how much you've researched and how much you know about the topic. So these two paragraphs work together to show me and show you two things. So for me, I would see how much you studied and know about the topic. So I can see that when you write about these paragraphs. Make sure to write them. It's required in the course, and in your other courses as you take 100 level university courses or even English 100, you would talk about the facts. You would give an overview. Let's say you're taking a literature class, you would talk about the book that you're analyzing. For counter arguments, if you take courses that have psychology or social sciences like sociology and philosophy and humanities, you would talk about arguments, and you would have to deal with counter arguments like you would in a debate. So for you, you would be ready to respond to other perspectives and opinions. Now remember, the idea is, remember your opinion essay that you could agree or disagree with something at least. So let's say you agree that yes, young adults should reduce their screen time, and they can reduce their screen time if they know more about the dangers. Somebody could disagree with that, and you want to at least know and read about those points of view. So you're going to want to research not only your argument, but also research other points of view. So when you're at this point of the video and you're thinking about counter arguments, it should tell you one thing, that you're going to need more sources. Because not only are you going to have sources that support your argument, which is basically in everyone's research proposal, your sources are to help you understand what you want to talk about and your perspective. And that's for this paragraph. You've done your research probably for here and here. So far, your information would go in here. However, you're going to need to research more articles on opposing points. Maybe you can find articles on screen addiction, or for me anyway, I can find articles on screen addiction and look at it over the years. And let's say, for example, 5 years ago, it was already happening, and now it's still happening. There, even with more awareness, there are still people depending on screens, like computers and video games and internet and social media and mobile devices and so on. So I would look into the reasons for that. And other factors as well. So you're looking at 3 groups of sources. So the first group is your supporting points. The second group is your opposing points. And the third group would be your other factors. Yes, you would focus on your supporting points because that's the majority of your essay. But for this structure, you're going to want to find at least 1 or 2. So maybe 3 articles here, maybe 2 articles here for your opposing points, that you would acknowledge other perspectives, and then 1 article here. So there is your 5 academic sources. 6 actually, if you use other factors as well. So how you would present these views after you've read them is the same way that you have done in your research proposal. You would also take notes and summarize from your opposing articles. And the whole process of this is to help you think critically, to respond by reading up and then thinking about and writing in reply to those perspectives that is not your own. If you agree with something, you're going to have to research people that don't agree with you and see what they have to say. In this essay, you have 1 paragraph to do it. In other structures, you would be writing more than 1 paragraph, where in each supporting point, you would have a counter argument. But in this essay, just 1 paragraph. And in this paragraph, you want to include opposing views, maybe people that don't agree with you, that research findings that don't agree with the ones that you found. You want to summarize and present those clearly. And then here, as the third checkpoint, is you're not saying anything about your thesis statement. If you agree with something, here you'll be disagreeing. So this is a no. You'll get back to your thesis statement here in the body paragraph. All right, and so this is part 2 of the video where we talked about the factual overview paragraph and the opposing varying views body paragraph. These 2 paragraphs will be right after your introduction, and as you can see here, you'll do this before you write your body paragraph. So make sure you do that. Make sure you research other articles, especially those from the other side of your argument that disagree with you, as well as any other things that you would use to help understand the issue better, so then you can develop your argument more fully. All right, stay tuned for the next part of the video.